That's so awesome.
Distinguished guests, faculty, family, and friends. This year's valedictorian represents a choice on the part of the graduating student body to represent themselves with wit, intelligence, and humor. Those of us who are parents or who work in schools know that commencement exercises help to define both endings and beginnings for young people, as well as what changes and what remains the same for them as they embark on the next stage of their lives. I think it would be fair to say that our valedictorian tonight is someone who, although he has embarked on a life of new challenges and new opportunities, remains at some level the same person we all remember from his time at Fort Garry High School. Ladies and gentlemen, please join in welcoming your valedictorian, Mr. Brian Liang.
Time, the non-spatial continuum in which events occur and appear to have place in an irreversible order of past, present, and future. This concept of time was essential to the forming of the universe and is closely related to space, both of which come to form the space-time continuum that enabled the existence of everything. To the people that make up this wonderful crowd tonight, the graduates, the students, friends, as well as the staff, parents, and distinguished guests who make up this night possible, thank you and enjoy your stay. For tonight is a celebration. Tonight, we take part in the feast of accomplishments made possible by the graduating class of 2010. Tonight, we dine in success. Sound like a droid, but in a way, the beginning of our high school careers at times seemed like the life of a droid. In other words, for some of us, it seemed as though we were entering a factory, being told that we had to do things a certain way after being given the tools to do so. High school appeared to be the kind of place where you went through a long process just to get to the next step, and nothing more. Over time, however, we began to see beyond the droid perspective. We matured, realized that we were not here to serve a system, but rather to use it, use what it provided in order to see the success of the system together. This was who we were. We were part of the 4-year time continuum and existed in the PPHS space continuum. Despite the small, almost insignificant aspect of our existence, we have done things we never thought possible. Like the Matrix, schools have two different ideologies, two set of rules that govern our actions, which can be associated with two distinctly different colored pills. The blue pill is reflected in strict dress codes, heavy discipline, stripped of our individualistic traits, and the lack of opportunity for us to show our spirit. I am very thankful that the graduating class of 2010 chose the red pill. It has allowed us not only to learn and coexist with each other, but to flourish with one another. And with that in mind, let us go on to see how far our option has taken us, how deep the rabbit hole goes. High school has had a different meaning for everyone. Some might have seen it as the gateway to the truth. Some might have seen it as another step in our lives until we reach our dreams. Some as the meeting ground for us to see others and form friendships, and some as that tedious and inconvenient place where one is forced to learn. Regardless of how you view your school experience, it was hard to forget the spirit, the energy and enthusiasm of the students the school housed during our time here. It was the best of times, and it was the worst of times. Take, for instance, the student council. Although many of us were never part of the student council, we were all part of the spirit. The student council planned many events and activities that offered entertainment between our learning and homework. After all, doing derivatives while wearing a cowboy hat is always better than simply doing derivatives. Especially if your cowboy hat is superior to the one worn by the person sitting 3 seats in front of you, 2 seats to the left. But the student council wasn't our only escape from bovine, spongiform, encephalopathies. We also had the many options provided by a wide variety of clubs and teams in everything from Mr. Gay's Geeks Unlimited Gaming Club or Mr. Baxter and Miss Cornelius' Apple Pie Math Club, which despite its eventual and dismal failure, I have no idea how a math club could fail. It was fun. Let us not forget the infinite number of sports that were made available to us, from basketball to varsity golf, as well as other groups like the GSA or robotics. I could finally play Smash Bros with other people, and you could continue to play sports with other people. And with a little help from our friends, we all became stars in our own right. Having all this while learning about atoms, molecules, math, English, etc. really made our lives more enjoyable and kept our brains from combusting because of the sheer overload of knowledge. Now, more likely than not, you have forgotten every bit of that sheer knowledge, and that's okay. Let us decelerate for a moment and think about it. Exactly what did we learn? We learned the ability to learn. Sure, there are a million formulas to compute velocity or sections of the brain that we never even knew existed, but none of us are going to remember that, except the fancy parts like the medulla oblongata. Rather, what we will remember is the process. The methods required to learn, the ability to meet deadlines, solve problems, things with real-world applications, things that will carry us forward for the rest of our lives. And we will remember the consequences that occur when we don't follow this process, such as the results of procrastination. The word procrastination starts with the prefix pro, and might I add that you can't be a pro gamer without making some sacrifices. If we have to delay that assignment due tomorrow in order to get the 3-for-1 headshot achievement, or cancel that study session so we can level grind for hours, enabling our Pikachu to learn Volt Tackle. Or even be merchant for weeks just to get a couple mil of virtual piece of gold, even though we know we will probably lose it all someday. We will make these sacrifices, but I'm sure our experiences with school have taught us just what happens if you do that. Mind you, schools don't always teach in a way that makes clear the true meaning of the statement. Those of us that took physics remember that once an object is in motion, it stays in motion until acted upon by another force. What we didn't learn was what Isaac was really trying to tell us. We have gained so much ground, so much momentum or inertia, and we should stay in motion to accomplish and become who we want to become, to pursue our dreams, pursue our goals, pursue happiness, and make the most of our lives, fulfill our purpose. What we need to know now is how to find our purpose, because, as you and I know, without a purpose, we would not exist. It is purpose that created us. Purpose that connects us, that pulls us, that guides us, that drives us. It is purpose that defines us. So I ask you, what is your purpose? Let's take one more look at our past as it might shed some light onto how we can find it. You have two options. Either dance these 4 years and work for the next 40, or work these 4 years and dance for the next 40. You decide. Those were the words given to us back in the day. Little did we know that only a few years later we would be right back to square one, once again faced with a relentless onslaught of work and back-breaking midterms. We are once again told the same thing as before. When can we dance? When can we cash in on those years? The answer is right now. We are in the midst of the best part of our lives. Let us show just what exceptional people each and every one of us are. As we look to the future and our continued place in the space-time continuum, we must realize that our reality then has helped us to prepare us for our reality now. It'll be a rough ride for some, but Fort Perry High School can take it. Because we aren't heroes, we're something more, something greater, the Dark Knight.